100,000 British tourists come to Sri Lanka on holiday every year. But on the beaches, what you can't see is a country that's turned into a military state. A country where there's disturbing evidence that the security forces are involved in torture, disappearances and murder. We were with the Sri Lankan army on the front line of their conflict with the rebel Tamil Tigers. After a huge suicide attack targeting the Secretary of Defence, Sri Lanka's new government vowed to destroy the rebels militarily.
When you're travelling on one of these, you feel very exposed. So many soldiers have been killed by claymore mine attacks or ambushed by the Tamil Tigers. It's a real risk. And by being here, we feel what it's like to be in the shoes of the Sri Lankan soldier.
They'd taken this Tamil Tiger naval base in Mannar in the north of the country 3 weeks earlier. The fighting had been ferocious.
Look carefully, you start to see things, a gun pit over there, down here an underground bunker. You see some drips hanging from the trees. So according to the officers, this could have been a medical base for the Tigers.
The army told us they'd killed 11 guerrillas in the battle.
Major, this is what? From shelling? Lieutenant?
Air bombing.
Air bombing?
Yeah.
Wow, look at that. All of the civilians who lived in this area have had to flee. They're homeless, they're refugees. Now, the army's justification for the combat is they have to rout the Tamil Tiger rebels out of here.
But in 24 years of conflict, 70,000 people have died, and peace has never seemed so remote. When civilians die, each side blames the other. The local priest had just buried 12 of his parishioners. Their bus was blown up as they fled the fighting. 3 were children, 6 were women.
There are many killings are taking place without investigation and buried and gone. So that's not the normal thing here. For each and every killing, some investigation.
That's not normal?
No, it's not normal.
Why not?
Because the country has come to such a situation that killing has been taking place every other day. And there's no one responsible and no one can do in this situation.
We heard that the mother of one of the children buried here had survived. She was in the local hospital, and we went to find her.
What else was injured? Your leg? Your face?
The doctors didn't know if Bharati would ever walk again. She said she and her children had left their house because of the shelling that was going on all around them.
Bharati says that she was on the bus. Next thing there was a blast. Suddenly they were all over the place. They were all outside lying on the ground. She looked around, she survived. She looked at her son, he had survived. Around her, most of the other people were dead. She lost her mother, she lost her daughter.
Her daughter, Suveta, was just 4.
As she was talking to me, that was a huge shell sound we heard, probably been sent into the Tamil Tiger area. Was that what it was like in your village? You could hear shells like that all the time? Oh!
No one knows for certain who was responsible for the blast.
This is the plight of so many people living in this part of the country where they're caught in the middle of the two sides and there's nowhere to go.
We went to the local cathedral. We heard all kinds of atrocities are happening here. Not just killings in crossfire, but murders by death squads looking for anyone connected to the Tamil Tigers, or the LTTE as they're known. The Bishop of Mannar wanted to speak out. He said the government attempts to blame the Tamil Tigers for the death squads didn't add up.
People are being killed by some other party. We don't know who the party is, but LTTE is not here to do that. So people are talking.
He suspected the security forces were behind many killings.
They fired.
He wanted to show us the photographs of one of the worst atrocities.
The bishop has given me photographs of the massacre. This is the mother of the family. Her throat was slit. The father of the family has been hanged. He's been disemboweled. The next picture is difficult to describe. It's two little children hanging from nooses around their necks. It's a young girl, very small, slender, short hair. Her body is covered in blood. Her little white dress is all covered in blood. There's blood on her elbow. Her head is bent over sideways. A yellow rope is what was used to hang her. Her eyes are still open. Her brother is behind her. The little boy has been disemboweled.
The bishop knows he is treading a fine line by condemning war crimes. The day after we left Mannar, one of the priests was killed in an ambush. The army blames the Tigers. The Tigers blame the army. Death squads operate all along the front line that divides the north of Sri Lanka from the south.